Y'all, more and more UFO sightings are being seen all over the world as the US government confirms UFO sightings through war.gov. And these past couple of weeks have been no different. We're going to check out strange crafts in Delta Formation, weird star-shaped UFOs, and even a UFO showcasing instantaneous acceleration. UFOs Today starts now. We're jumping right into Oregon, May 23rd, 2026. Where witnesses saw these strange lights in the sky. They were blinking erratically, and the witness said that before they started recording, the lights seemed to appear in the sky one at a time, individually. Then, as they started blinking and freaking out, the person started recording. You can even kind of see that one of the lights kind of fades away a little bit later in the video. What do you guys think this could be? Now that's a very interesting sighting because the blinking lights weren't FAA red and green lights, they were just all white. And then the fact that the witness claims that these things appeared one at a time, that's very anomalous. Over in Brazil, May 25th, 2026, witnesses saw this craft in Delta Formation streaking across the sky. Oddly enough, especially with how bright this UFO is as we're seeing this video, the witness claims it was actually harder to see this craft with their eyes than it was in the recording, which I find fascinating. It's almost like they have a cloaking mechanism that works on our eyes, but not always on our technology. I think back to a lot of the UFOs that we call on thermal imaging that weren't visible to the naked eye. Meanwhile, over Louisiana in the United States, May 22nd, 2026, witnesses captured this strange object, which in my opinion, honestly does seem to look like a flying saucer. It looks like a flat disc with maybe a bulbous bottom, and with that I'm going to assume a bulbous top, giving us that traditional flying saucer shape. I love seeing UFOs like this because, one, it makes me feel like it's still the 90s, and two, it really makes me feel like this technology of theirs, of these other species, does advance. However, they do still use what I would consider their older tech because we don't say flying saucers as much as we used to. So I just love the fact that they're still a thing. Now, I will make note that I saw a similar sighting like this before, and honestly, I feel like it draws a striking resemblance, but I can't quite put my finger on where that sighting was. I will keep digging. It's also one of the strangest UFO clips I've ever seen. I'm trying to get as much information on this UFO as possible because it literally blew my mind. What I've been able to gather from the metadata of the raw video is that this occurred August 22nd, 2022. Some of the files were corrupt and I can't seem to extract the location. However, it's still a fascinating UFO. Take a look. See how it's so strange and star-shaped? It reminds me of the UFO released from Ukraine and the star UFO released from the government. Only this is not a thermal imaging camera. So this is what it actually looks like that weird dark void. And behind it is this strange, almost illuminated orange. You guys see how, even as they're zoomed out, that orange part almost looks luminous. Did it just split into two? What the hell? Yo, I'm watching this in real time with you guys to get this reaction, so I'm... What? That just made it even more anomalous. I can tell you, I've never seen anything like that. And seeing this clip does make me feel like the government clip and the Ukraine clip are more authentic. I know some people thought it may have been lens flare, but honey, this does not look like a lens flare to me. This just looks crazy. What is the orange? What is the orange? What? Did it just, was that just instantaneous acceleration? No, okay, I was gonna say child, or it is, because at the end of the video, it was further away. So that was instantaneous acceleration. It cleared most of the sky in no time. That is such a wild sighting, and I'm gonna keep digging, and I hope I can find more information about it for you. Now, speaking of instantaneous acceleration, we have another clip with another example. This one confirmed by the government, and I find it fascinating. It was actually covered on NBC News, and it's the UFO from Syria in 2021. But what I love most about this coverage, and why I really want you to watch it and take it in, is that the host himself is seeing this and freaking out because finally he feels comfortable enough to tell the public about his UFO story he had as a child with the similarities to this instantaneous acceleration. And it's fascinating, and honestly, it's raw and authentic, and I love it. Smash like, take a look.
Wait for it, tracking that object, it's gone. Immediately. We could slow it down just a little bit. It gets a lock here, and then it loses that lock, and then again, they're calling it instant acceleration. And when I saw it, I gotta admit, like, it made me feel very, very weird. And here is why. Bear with me here. One night, when I was around 9, 10 years old, my dad was driving me back from whole Boy Scouts. We were going home from Boy Scouts, and we were driving through the New Mexico desert on the outskirts of Albuquerque. And I remember my dad and I were sitting in the car, we were going down Paradise Boulevard, and then we see this light. And I thought at first it was a helicopter, but as it got closer to the car, it suddenly stopped and then just zoomed away. Instant. Very similar to that instant acceleration, but it was more like a check mark, and then it just disappeared. And my dad and I, we looked at each other. He shouted "ovni," which in Spanish is UFO, and then we rushed home, we told our family, and then that was basically it. Like, very anticlimactic. I have no idea if what we saw was some sort of test from Kirkland Air Force Base or Sandia National Labs, or if I was just like an impressionable kid who watched Star Wars way too many times and saw the Millennium Falcon just dart off. I don't trust a 30-year-old memory, but seeing this kind of acceleration, it is eerily similar to what I'm pretty sure I saw.
And I love how he's like, wait for it, wait, like he's getting so animated and excited, and I love that because that's how I feel when I watch UFO videos. And I genuinely believe his UFO sighting story, because if you guys watch that clip, you can see how he starts off talking about it like it's part of the segment, but then he comes alive and becomes animated because he's like reliving the moment. I feel like that was, again, just so genuine and authentic, and I'm so happy he was able to share that, and I hope you guys are able to appreciate that as well. Now we're jumping back to Brazil, May 25th, 2026, where witnesses stood outside and captured these strange anomalies all night long. As they noticed them the night before, they came prepared this time, and they captured quite a few fast movers in the sky. They have cross-reference satellites apps, they've cross-reference plane apps, they've checked Sky Guide. There should be nothing in that airspace. And yet, we get this.
Olha. Aham, tô vendo. Um em cima, um embaixo. Um em cima, um embaixo, né? Ó, o triângulo lá. Olha só. Ó pra aí, como tá grande.
Aí, agora ela movimento.
Liga aí, fez um movimento bem diferente, não foi? Ó, tem uma mais em cima, outra embaixo e uma lá atrás. Uma lá atrás ainda.
É, tô vendo, ela atrás e assim. Embaixo também não.
Ó lá, aparecendo, viu? Tá aparecendo lá, ó. Ó pra Yu. Ó que bonito. Caramba, que lindo, velho.
Deixa eu pegar.
Olha, tem outra. Eu vi, sabe o quê? Eu não sei, mas eu tenho certeza que é a GNA. A GNA também tá embaixo. Eu vi a luz aqui agora, porque eu tô filmando e tô olhando do lado. Eu não tô olhando pra câmera, não. Ah, pô, eu vi a GNA, velho.
Embaixo?
Isso, ela lá de novo. Olha, elas fizeram agora uma curva diferente, viu? Sério, vai passar bem perto da estrela maior. Vai passar e passou.
Tá o garotão. Foi ali embaixo.
Aham, é embaixo.
O garotão. Tá.
Olha, que bonito.
Ela vai assim, ó. Depois vai subindo.
Vai subindo, ela sobe um pouquinho. Depois ela muda.
So strange and so fascinating, and those movements are undeniable, especially when the two UFOs were like flying side by side. Now we're way past satellite territory and normal stuff. What do you mean they're flying side by side? Through the cosmos, because how high up are they that they look like little dots? What's happening in our skies? Yet another great couple of weeks of fascinating UFO stories and fascinating UFO sightings as the government confirms these things to be real. Honestly, it makes me so excited, and I cannot wait for the next UFO files to drop. And if you want to be ready for those UFO files, make sure you smash subscribe and ring that bell. And if you made it this far, smash like. I'll see you in the next video.